So at the time of this upload, of the Scorpius and the Vanguard are not actually going up head to head. I did not realize it was only for one day. So by the time this video goes up, it's already going to be 2 days past since the Scorpius and the Vanguard went head to head. And I will point out on the website that the Scorpius did end up winning, but I figured you guys would enjoy the nice comparison between at least 2 of my favorite ships either way. So yeah, it's going to be 2 days past, but who cares? So I hope you guys enjoy the video. What's going on, YouTube? It's One Out Supreme again, and welcome back to some more Star Citizen. Now we're going to do a little bit of a different one. As you can see, we're in my Vanguard Warden, but as of right now, in the ship showdown, the Scorpius and the Vanguard Warden are basically going head to head. At least that's from my knowledge from while recording this video. So we're going to do a comparison video between the Vanguard Warden and the RSI Scorpius. Right now, both ships I'm in absolute love with. Obviously, you guys know how much I love the Warden. I've done, what, 5 videos on this thing now? This will be the 6th, I think. Something like that. And the Scorpius blew me away, even though at first I didn't like it. Like, when it first came out, I just didn't like it at all. But now I'm in love with it. And right now, the Scorpius and the Vanguard Warden are basically the 2 ships I want in my hangar. Like, my forever ships, my pledge ships. Those are the ships I want, basically. Like, if I'm only going to have 2 ships, those are the ships I want. So, unfortunately, after we do the Warden, since this is my pledge ship, I am going to have to melt it to grab the Scorpius. But I can always buy another Vanguard in-game, and I have enough money for it. So, it's not that big of a deal. But I just want to give my thoughts on the Vanguard Warden while doing a VHRT. Then I want to go grab my Scorpius. We're going to give my thoughts on those, and I can kind of compare the 2. Get my thoughts on both of them at the end, and yeah. So we're gonna run my 2 favorite loadouts on each ship, right? So right now, my favorite loadout on the Vanguard is 2 laser cannons, 2 distortion cannons, and the M7A size 5 laser cannon. I just melt VHRTs really fast with it, and yeah, it's just my favorite loadout. Now, before we start, I just want to... Ooh, somebody's in an arrow flying around. Nice. Before we start, I obviously want to point out the obvious things about the Vanguard, right? Vanguard's got bigger guns. Well, a bigger gun. You know, it's got a size 5, and then the nose guns are all size 2s. Now, that might honestly kind of even out with the 4 size 3 pilot controlled weapons on the Scorpius, but we got a size 5. I believe we have, let me look, we got 4 size 2 missiles. Ooh, oh, hold up, so we got 8 size 2 missiles and 4 size 3s. So that's what I gotta do mental math, and I ain't so good at mental math hard. So we got 12 missiles in total. All right, and we also have 4 MFDs for pilot control. Both ships have a gunner. One is a man gun. On the Vanguard, it's a man turret. On the Scorpius, it's an auto turret or a remote turret. Also, the Vanguard, I'm not gonna get out on my pilot seat because I think everybody knows the Vanguard has an interior. You know, it's got 2 beds, it's got toilet, it's got, I think it's got technically a kitchenette, and it's got a space shitter. So you could basically do a little bit of everything in this ship. So just want to point out those few differences really quick, and let's go grab a VHRT. Obviously, we know how this performs for VHRTs for me, because like I said, it's my favorite. We're only going to grab a single one. I'm not going to try to make this video 45 minutes long. I'm already 5 minutes in before we do anything. But so far, that's obviously the differences to the or the features the Vanguard has over the Scorpius. So let's go do our VHRT and see how she does. I just said does. What the hell's wrong with me? All right. So first things first. Obviously, the Vanguard is bigger, at least longer. I'm not sure. I honestly think the Scorpius might be wider, but the Scorpius feels bigger. It looks bigger, right? I mean, of course, it's got an interior. It's also slower. I think max speed on this thing is, well, we'll see. We'll hit it. I think it's just over 1100. Yeah. So we'll even it out at about 1100 meters per second, right? But with that size 5, we can do some damage. She's maneuverable enough. Now, if I can actually hit my shots, that would be helpful. And I'm getting weapons not recharging. There we go. Now they're recharging. Alright. I'm gonna disengage here. There is another issue, or at least not issue, another drawback for the Vanguard. Since she is slow, she's fat. I do have trouble, especially when it comes to hurricanes. Outrunning things. And I also believe she might have shield holes as of right now. Because my shields never... Well, no, I take that back. My shields did go all the way down, so I might be wrong on that. I don't want to take out the main target as of right now. I want to take out all the targets to give both ships a fair shake. We did kind of zoom away from this thing, though. 10 on missiles we got. Alright. I'm actually going to leave the freelancer alone for right now. But with the size 5, we can do a good amount of damage. I can take out a hurricane in one pass if I hit all my shots. But I tend to pre-jack a little bit and shoot a little too early. So look at that. We already took the part off that cutty. But we are having some issues with the weapons not recharging today. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. Both wings of the cutty are down. Ooh. Now he's missing both engines. He's just floating in space. Yeah, I don't know why I'm having issues with weapons not recharging right now. I want to just finish off this cutty really quick, but looks like that's not going to happen without me having to mess around with the weapons. Hopefully the Scorpius isn't this way. You know what? Am I too close? Yeah, I am too close. That's why. I'm fucking not paying attention. Done deal. Alright. Cutty down. Saber. Saber down that fast. Look at that. take care of this freelancer. The freelancer looks like he's just kind of floating away. So you know what? We're gonna leave him be. We're gonna go to the target. Yeah, I want to know why my weapons just are like, yeah, no, I don't feel like charging right now. That's so weird. Like, even in that cannon, I'm not getting a full charge on it right now. There we go. Contact. So our main target is a Vanguard Warden. I am going a little too fast, so we're going to blow right by him here. Whip around. Now, the Vanguard is also, I won't say slow, but it's a noticeable difference between I think the Scorpius and this. It's noticeably slower to whip around to get on your target, especially the way I fly. But look at that. Took out that Vanguard, no problem. For its lack of mobility, and it's not much of a lack of mobility, I want to point that out too. She can move. She can definitely move. But for the lack of mobility compared to the Scorpius or the Hurricane, I'll point the Hurricane out too, she comes with firepower. And I'm talking, before we move on to the Scorpius, I am talking between a single pilot like viewpoint. No gunner, it's just a solo pilot. And she brings the firepower. She really does. I can take out VHRTs. I can take down a group VHRT in about 8.5 to 9 minutes. And my Vanguard. So she hits hard. She's a little slow. She's a little fat. But she's what I'll say, reliable. So we're gonna move on to the Scorpius now and see how she handles and see how they compare. Now, when it comes to the Scorpius, first things first, when it comes to the Scorpius, between the gun or the gunner and the pilot, the DPS is distributed more 50-50 than, let's say, 70-30 for the Vanguard. Because the pilot's got control of 4 size 3 weapons if you're running fixed. Otherwise you have 4 size 2. But I am running fixed, so I'm running 4 size 3 laser repeaters on this instead of cannons. And the gunner also controls 4 size 3 laser repeaters if you keep the laser repeaters. I would keep the laser repeaters. So it's a 50-50 DPS distribution between the pilot and the gunner, other than like the 70-30 with the Vanguard. Another thing, the Vanguard has 2 size 2 shield generators, when the Scorpius only has 1 size 2 shield generator. So you get a little bit more shield health with the Vanguard, but the Vanguard is slower and it's not as maneuverable, at least from what I noticed. Another thing, the Scorpius doesn't have an interior. It's just a cockpit and a co-pilot like seat. That's it. You just have you just have basically the 2 seats in the cockpit, and that's it. But we can also see the view in the Scorpius is much better. You don't have any of that struts bothering you. Now the struts don't bother me all that much unless we're flying a Connie. The Connie struts need some love. Let's be honest. They need some kind of change. Like, switch them up to the Aquila or something if you're like flying the Andromeda. But I'm getting off track. But the Vanguard has struts, but we only have 2 pilot controlled or pilot MFDs when the Vanguard has 4. So there's some give or take between the Vanguard and the Scorpius, but I believe the co-pilot also controls, or also has, I think, at least 2 MFDs. I actually haven't been back there. I'm actually gonna
engines are on.
Press the wrong button. I'm actually gonna get into the co-pilot seat, which I wish I would have gotten the gun of the Vanguard, but I didn't. Whatever. But we're gonna enter the co-pilot seat, see how many MFDs they have, because I just want to get my facts right. But yeah, it's more of a simple ship than the Vanguard, at least simple laid out, obviously, because you only have the cockpit and the co-pilot seat. When the Vanguard has the full interior with the bathroom. This is specifically suited for combat. When the Vanguard is also suited for combat, don't get me wrong, but it's also suited for other things as well. Where's the power? Here we go.
Weapons
All right, so you get
welcome to Robert Space Industries.
so you get one extra MFD
System check.
as the gunner. You can enter the remote turret. See, man, the capacitors on the gunner is a dope. Also, I want to point out, you can also put the gun behind you like that. When the Vanguard, you cannot. Now, granted, when the gun is up top, you can still see behind you, so it's kind of a gimmick, but it's an added feature that the Vanguard does not have. So I just want to point that out really quick. I'm gonna put it back up top before I forget. So, like I said, it's much more of a simple ship. It's more focused on the niche. But I think that's enough talking on the Scorpius. But we also got to point out one other thing. The Scorpius does have the style points, and you'll see why here in just a second. Don't get me wrong, the Vanguard is a very good looking ship, but nothing puts a smile on my face. What are you doing? Game, what are you doing? There we go. But nothing puts a smile on my face like this. Like I said, the Scorpius does have the style point. But I'm done talking about all the random, or not random, but all the boring stuff. We're gonna grab our VHRT and see how she handles in combat. Now, granted, I know I used cannons on the Vanguard. The Vanguard, in my opinion, its strengths for the pilot control are cannons. But for the Scorpius, I think the strengths for the pilot is to use repeaters, and that's why I'm doing that. So we're gonna grab our VHRT and see how she handles. Now, before we enter atmosphere, whatever. Before we enter atmosphere, I just want to also show the top speed on the Scorpius as well. It is faster than the Vanguard by 100 meters per second. So we go about 1250 meters per second when the Vanguard only goes 1100 meters per second. Also, while we're flying towards the bounty, I also did want to point out that if you get a wing, a wing shot off on the Vanguard, it's most likely also going to take your engine with it, which you'll become basically dead in the water. With the Scorpius, if you lose a wing, yeah, you lose a gun, but you're still flying. You can fly this thing without wings. At least from when I saw Subliminal review the Scorpius when it first released. I don't know if that's changed, so let me know in the comments down below. But as far as I know, you'll only lose guns. You'll still be able to fly your home, which I think is also a good plus. God, man, this thing's just menacing looking. Right, now that we're at our bounty, we can see how she handles. Now I got a little too close, so I had to turn around to make sure I didn't get shot at while I started recording again. But oh, we got a freelancer. We're also going to slow up here a little bit. But also another thing, obviously the Vanguard's weapons are all tight, close together. So it's not all that hard to miss, at least in my opinion. With the Scorpius, obviously every weapon for the pilot are all on each wingtip, which they're spread out. So there's a little bit of a weapons convergence issue. Now, I don't notice it as much with the repeaters, but with the cannons, I really do. That's why I think the strength for the pilot is to run repeaters on the ship. So that's another little bit of a downside to the Scorpius, but that's okay. Ooh, I just got hit. So while we're moving around, we're gonna...
Let's see how you like this.
But as I said earlier, she only has one shield generator when the Vanguard has two, but we can whip her around a lot faster. Alright, my shields are down. We're gonna disengage here a little bit. Another plus side from the Vanguard for the Scorpius over the Vanguard is she's fast. Well, she's faster than the Vanguard, so I can actually get away and disengage here a little bit and let my shield recharge and whip her around. Also, she also has more missiles. The Vanguard has 12, while the Scorpius has 16. Now, you do have 4 size 3s on the Vanguard, but 16 size 2 missiles are not something to joke about. So we're going to launch 2 at this Freelancer. Freelancer down. Where's the other guy? Huh. Targets like right by each other? Alright, hold on. Oh, here we go. And since she's more maneuverable, you can stay more consistent on smaller ships. I know we really didn't see that when I was doing the Vanguard, but see how I'm like on this Buccaneer. We got a Hornet to deal with here too. See how when we got close there, I was basically missing. It's because the weapon convergence. Like, since they're so spread apart, if they get close enough to you, my shot will almost shoot completely around you. At this distance, it's not that big of a deal though. If I can hit my shots. Hornet is down. Before we engage that last one, we're gonna let those front shields recharge here a little bit. But can we? She does look good. She definitely wins from looks. I will point that out. She looks good. Alright, last ship is a Valkyrie. From a distance here, once we get to about, a little bit, just piss them off a little bit. We're not going to try to do a whole lot of damage with the missiles. I have noticed I do enjoy using the missiles more on the Scorpius than the Vanguard as well. I don't know why that is, but I just do. But if I would keep my speed under SCM, I can really get around. I'm shooting a low too. Shooting some more at me.
Son of a bitch.
shields.
but I think I'm able to keep on target a little bit more. Now, granted, I am using repeaters instead of cannons like I did on the Vanguard. But like I said, I feel like I'm playing, at least for PvE, cannons are a strength for the Vanguard, while I'm playing on the repeater strength for the Scorpius.
Enemy down.
And honestly, I think we actually got that bounty gun a little bit faster. Just a tad bit, not too much. But either way, both ships for PvE. Hold on, we're not. I don't want to spin around here. Start flying as a normal rate. But both ships for PvE, especially for VHRT bounties, are powerhouses. I have not tested the Scorpius on a VHR or on not a VHRT, an ERT yet, but I know for a fact if you're watching your ass on the Vanguard, you can take down at least a single ERT with it, because I've taken down hammerheads with it. Like I said, I still have yet to try to take down a hammerhead with the Scorpius, but for VHRTs, they are both powerhouses. Now, for a single pilot, though, personally, I think for a single pilot, the Vanguard is the way to go, because you get more DPS, or pilot-controlled DPS. Like I said, they're split 70-30, where the Scorpius is like more 50-50. But I honestly think if you were to take a second person in the Vanguard or in the Scorpius, I honestly think the Scorpius might win it out, because of the fact that you have 8 size 3s shooting at a target, when the Vanguard, you got what? I think you got size 2s in the guns, and then you got 4 size 2s on the nose, and yeah, you got that size 5. But I honestly think with a gunner, the Scorpius will take things down faster. That's my personal opinion. But I want to know what you guys think. Personally, I've been having more fun with the Scorpius lately, mostly because it's a new ship for me, and I'm still kind of in the honeymoon phase. But I think the debate is up to you guys, the viewers. What ship do you prefer? Do you prefer to take the Vanguard out, or do you prefer to take the Scorpius out? So that's just my thoughts. Honestly, I think I'm gonna stick with the Scorpius for right now, because it's new. You know, it's the new shiny toy. But I think for a single pilot, the Vanguard definitely wins. For two people, the Scorpius wins. That's just my thoughts. Like I said, tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. So I'm gonna wrap this one up here. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Alrighty, I'll see you in the verse. Have a good one.